Hey guys, and welcome back to Mega Man Battle Network 6. There's trouble a-brewing. The ex-members of World 3 are, they're plotting, they're hatching some plots, some evil ne'er-do-well shenanigans, and we gotta go deep into the undernet to find the BBS that has, like, information of where they went, I guess?
Yeah, you know, it's going back to the darknet, if you will, and I love, again, how Tab was so worried about that, even though we've been to the internet by about 4 times by the end of this game, and we've been into the internet tons of times before, especially not counting the times you've been in there in the post-game, in past games, so the internet is kind of pussy now, when you think about it.
Yeah. Really, it's all about the underground now. The undernet, it's kind of weak sauce.
Yeah, that's true. The underground, it's the hip, new, cool place to hang out and do your illegal thing. Does anybody know where I can get some net drugs?
Oh, how do you do, fellow net nabbies?
I think you've linked this to me before, but there was like that Twitter where it's just like not a cop. That was the name of it. And he's always trying to get. I love that fucking thing. I'm sorry. Usually I don't like those. I have to admit. I'm kind of against the super jokey Twitters that have like no real point. I find, but I really like not a cop. I'm sorry.
The point of those kind of accounts is comedy, mate.
Well, yes, I get that, but at the same time, I tend to be very precise about what I allow on my feed, and if it's just like somebody being an annoying shit all the time, I tend to not like those.
Hold the phone. Why are you following me then?
Come on. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
But I mean, like, at least with Not a Cop, you kind of know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm just a picky bastard, I have to admit.
Yes, you are.
So I looked over this part ahead of time, and there's going to be some fighting, you know, leading up to where we need to go. So I might as well take the opportunity to ask you, besides your other past Mega Man experience with the classic series, and, you know, now with Battle Network, how do you feel in particular about some of the other, you know, series in the Mega Man franchise? Like, you know, Legends, Zero, things like that.
Well, why don't you list off one, and I'll give you my opinion on it.
Let's say Mega Man Legends, first off.
As you guys may know, I'm a massive fan of a Legends spin-off known as The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. We covered that earlier this year. I've only played like roughly about half an hour to an hour of Legends 1, which is also known as Mega Man 64 on the N64. It's a little bit dry for me, but then again, I didn't really get deep into it. I've never played 2. I hear you're not a fan of Legends as a whole.
Not really, just real short. I played a little bit of Mega Man 64, I thought it was clunky. The setting really does not grab me, and if a setting doesn't grab me in a piece of fiction, I'm really not going to be interested in it, I have to say, even if the gameplay's good. That's probably why Paper Jam sucks so hard, but that's another story for another day. Okay, next thing, Mega Man Zero. I'm actually a big Mega Man Zero fan. Like, I really like the series. I played as much of them as I was able to. I actually beat Mega Man Zero 1 legit on the Game Boy Advance, which I'm very proud of, because that game can get fucking ridiculous at times.
Wait, Zero or ZX? Aren't those two different sub-series?
Yeah, those are two different, sub-series. ZX takes place, like, a long time after. It's sort of a quasi-sequel to the Mega Man Zero series. But first, have you played any of the Mega Man Zero games?
I have not, no.
I recommend you actually get the Mega Man Zero collection on DS, because they actually have a mode that takes you through all the games in order. Admittedly, it gets really kind of fucking easy with some of the adjustments they make in that mode too, but for you, it might be a good...
Perfect for you, Tom, you ultimate plebeian.
Hey, I say this as somebody who had a very hard time in Mega Man Zero 1, but I like the series. I'm a fan of the setting. I thought the ideas in it were cool. Not a big fan of the art design for Zero at times. And we all know how I feel about the manga of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mega Man ZX. There's only 2 games in those series because, as we all know, Mega Man has encountered problems with selling video games in the past, so have you played any of those?
I think I played a little bit of one of them during my days when I had like a flash thing for me at DS, and I was just trying different games here and there.
Okay, I have played Mega Man ZX. I love the henshin aspect. I love how you can assume the powers of, like, you know, past, you know, Mega Man Zero, like the Guardians from Mega Man Zero series, things like that. You know, it's kind of a... They kind of try to do a quasi-Metroidvania sort of thing with it. It didn't work. I think the map's kind of lame and other stuff, things like that. The fights are still pretty good. The story's okay. I liked the ideas they had going into it. I didn't play the sequel, Mega Man ZX Advent, because they introduced a bunch of stupid stuff, and the voice acting is absolutely fucking terrible. I'm sorry. And I know people... These are probably because these are, like, native English speakers of, like, Japan, but, no, they didn't do a good job. I'm sorry, it doesn't work out.
What, are we talking, like, what is it, Mega Man 8 style voice acting?
Okay, well, it's not that bad.
Dr. Wowie.
I may have exaggerated a little. It's not fucking good. Like, the pronunciation is off, the acting is just really bad, I think. So, if you're gonna play that game, kind of go into it knowing what you're getting into, really.
Okay. Any other, like, sub-series that I should know about?
Well, I think you have more experience with Mega Man X, you know, than, you know, some of the other ones we talked about. Like, for myself, I'm not a big Mega Man X fan, but X4 is one of my favorite games possibly ever, so, and I'm glad we'll get to cover that later on down the line.
I have, like, seen GDQ runs of maybe, like, X1, X2, and so on. I will try to at least play through the first game, so I've got, like, a grasp on the controls, because, you know, this was my first Battle Network game. I did come into it slightly unprepared, but I think we've done okay for the most part. It's mostly down to you, so thank you for making this a much better playthrough than it would have been otherwise.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, another thing I wanted to mention about Mega Man X, I played 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. 6 is fucking jank, and I may have to get into more of that in the future, but I'll tell you now, Mega Man X6 fucking sucks. I'm sorry. It's not good. It has a lot of problems, I have to say, especially compared to X4, which is just great in my opinion, so yeah.
Is that it?
I think that is, X, Classic, Zero, Legends, Battle Network, ZX, there's Rockman X Over, but that's mobile, and, fuck that noise.
Star Force?
Star Force, yeah, we talked a lot about Star Force already.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that if I hadn't played Battle Network, I wouldn't have played Star Force either.
Neither have I, but I'm definitely gonna get Star Force 3, like, down the line. I am actually kind of interested in trying that now. They created a separate sub-series out of all of the canceled Mega Man projects. It's a shame, you know, just to be a Mega Man fan, but it's like Capcom just sometimes doesn't know what they're doing, which is so weird, because you think the answer would be obvious. Okay, I admit I don't own a game development company.
You don't?
Well, of course not. I have to talk over video games, not fucking make them.
You tell me this now, 8 years down the line, that was a prerequisite to be a HFC commentator.
I do love how in the internet they have like a BBS just kind of located in like the ass end of the place, just one of them, that's it.
Yeah, well, you've still got to hide your, like, internet message board shenanigans.
I love how there are guys on here that are just named Peter and Suzanne, like they use their actual name on like 4chan.
Not sure how I feel about Strange Times by Slick River.
Now, I think some of these BBSs are actually where you can get side quests, and I think you can get some here and in other BBSs, and I know one of the requirements to finding the ultimate version of Proto Man is to actually finish all of the various BBS side jobs in the game. But we ain't fucking doing that, so sorry.
I was actually going to attempt some of, like, the side missions in the game. Like, I actually had footage of me, like, doing the first one, or at least attempting to, but I was at a point where the story prevented me from, like, jacking into anything except where it needed me to jack into. So, I just kind of got railroaded by the story, and it eventually came to it. I was like, fuck it, I need to get on and record more footage, so I just kind of dropped it. The board you're thinking of actually is in Asterland. That's where you take on side missions.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's my fault. But yeah, if you just want to do a lot of side content stuff, I've never really been a big fan of it. I don't have a problem with it, I just don't do it, so it's there if you want to do it. Oh, we're just in time for some plot. Man, they actually kind of ganged up and beat the shit out of Barrel. I want to see fucking Sakurai throw a punch. That'll be interesting.
No, he just throws the book at him.
I fucking hate you right now. Because that was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. And I couldn't laugh because I was sort of processing just how well-timed that was.
The infinity spanned in his mind, torn between rage and love, but mostly hate.
Something like that. Yeah, does that make me a Green Lantern or one of the Lanterns?
Stop bringing up DC. You don't understand it the way I do.
Yeah, apparently neither does Warner Brothers.
Oh, oh, that was good. That was good.
Thank you. We all get at least one good joke in each playthrough, and unfortunately, I've blown my load early.
Little kid to the rescue!
Watch out, I know Kung Fu, and Taekwondo, and several other Chinese words.
Let that girl alone!
Watch out, I'm gonna roughhouse her a little bit more. I'll take away her dolly and everything.
And what's up her hair? Oh no, she's slightly less attractive now.
Yeah, not like this girl who was beautiful, I think? I can't even finish that sentence.
Yeah.
I didn't come here with a weapon or a gun, and I really should have thought about this. I like the idea of Sakurai just being actually like a huge ass kicker in his spare time. Like he will just bloody his fucking knuckles on a dude. That actually is kind of awesome, and I want to see that.
Yeah. Line up those fucking hitboxes properly.
Oh, that's how Sakurai defeated Beryl. Beryl tripped. Okay.
Nice! Dynamic entry!
Mr. Mach is here to save the day, and here's your favorite theme again.
They start playing the hero theme a lot at this point in the game.
That's because Mr. Mach is about to lay some smackdown.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's got some fucking nuts just calling out these guys, it's great.
He went from a kind of bland character to one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah, Mr. Mach is actually pretty good. I really like him a lot in this game. And, of course, with his incredible Flash of Light technique, he handily defeats everyone.
Ignore Barrel, he was already lying on the floor.
Well, he kind of punched him for good measure. Now, I'm not going to hit a woman, but I am going to try.
The Hammer of Justice is unisex.
That's probably the best idea to take here. I kind of wish he just knocked her the fuck out, too.
Another Paralyzer! Sorry, just had Kung Pao on the mind.
My name isn't Mr. Mach, it's actually Mr. Jet.
Mr. Fast.
You see, a long time ago, I ran away from home after a falling out with Pops.
Okay, we're getting his backstory now. Kind of. Maybe? I may have misinterpreted this. It's subtext land.
See, Mr. Mach has a reason for doing shit. Beryl supposedly does not at this time. He does, but you know.
Yeah, well, we have to wait for that. Only one backstory may be revealed at any given time.
So, Mr. Mach's backstory is a little expected. You know, he has somebody in his life who was very sick. He didn't have the money to pay for it. And then when Evil comes along, offering to help pay for things, you know, what's a man to do? Like, really?
Yeah. You know, when Dr. Wilder comes around with that fat cheddar, you can't say no.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would imagine that Dr. Wily is pretty rich in this series, considering some of the technologies he did help innovate, even though internet was, like, the main direction that the series took. So I'm pretty sure he could just walk up to a bitch with, like, a fat wad of cash, and be like, hey, baby, you want a good time?
You can call me Green Man. Oh, okay, so it was a distraction.
I wonder how he got Blastman, how he set him to be evil!
Yeah, that's a good point. How do any of these people get their net navvies?
I mean, like, Blastman kind of looks evil by design. Like, he has, like, the eyes, he has, like, the face that kind of make him look evil. Did he have, like, Blastman beforehand? Did Blastman have, like, a happy face he used to do?
Yeah, you can't join World 3 without an evil-looking Navi. Sorry, it's just not on.
Now, Element Man doesn't have a face, but he kind of looks evil, so... And Judge Man has most of his face covered, but he's kind of look evil. I don't know.
Sorry, I thought I said Zootopia for a second.
That would have been a very interesting crossover.
Called Zootropolis, or Zootopolis in the UK for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe copyrights.
So basically, he's sort of like the Karate Kid. You know, I mentioned Joe Piscopo. That's his fucking name. The guy of the evil dojo, you know, the teacher? That's who he reminds me of.
Sweep the leg!
Yes, sensei. During that time, I increased my power level significantly, and I mastered the use of Kai. I didn't use it here, but it's been a while.
Yeah, Barrel told me to stop screaming during sparring matches. It was getting a little embarrassing.
So it's basically guy love.
Guy love between two guys.
Well, he can't tell you now because he got knocked the fuck out, yeah.
No, he's saying it just very quietly.
Mr. Mach, you fucking asshole.
You were my favourite teacher! In fact, you were my only teacher.
That's true. I mean, he's had two teachers. He has Ms. Murray and Mr. Mach. And Mr. Mach has been significantly better, and all he had was one game to do it in.
I don't know, well, I don't know why I'm saying I don't know.
Well, just agree with me. That's pretty much the ideal course of action.
Peer pressure.
So, Iris, you doing a little okay? Did they rough you up? Well, my knee's broken, but other than that, I'm fine.
Can we get out of the void, please? I'm getting very uncomfortable.
Tab has just been fretting, waiting for the garage door to close at midnight to show that you're back from your curfew.
You could have come with us, you know. There was no reason you had to stay here.
Ah, yes, because I'm sure they would have been very effective in that situation.
Well, I don't know, Tab could have tempted them with sweet, sweet deals at Asterland. Come to Asterland today for all your battleship needs.
And Mick could have gotten in the way, like he always does.
No, Mick could have trolled them, it would have been great.
That's true, I think it would have worked, and at least if Blackbeard was there.
Sadly, he's rotting in jail right now.
Again. It's been a long day of learning absolutely nothing.
Well, we learned that the ex-members of World Freight can't take a punch.
Well, that's true. Well, I don't know, I would imagine most NetNavi operators aren't really physically built for that kind of combat.
Then again, you only really need one punch when it's delivered at Mach speed.
That's true. Like, he's probably got a Hajime no Ippo punch, you know, like Mr. Mach does.
Sorry, I was expecting you to be like, oh, Tom, you and your puns, and now I'm just sad.
I'm sorry, that one wasn't nearly as good as your previous one.
Fine. That's what I get for burning out too soon.
Iris, he's inviting you to his home, take him up on it. He's got pizza and video games. You like video games, right, Iris? You better like video games.
I'm a fan of mobile games. We can't be friends anymore.
Mobile games, huh? I guess we can't be friends.
Sorry, what?
I'm sorry, Iris, you're cutting out. Is Skype messing up again?
You need to update yourself.
I'm macking, Mick.
Okay guys, that's enough of Mick's interference for one day. We shall see you next time for more exposition, action, and more net battling. All the net battling that your heart could ever long for. See you then.